Oh, now we're getting into it. The Alliance, led by the man
Så it's like Hans
nicknamed
Johan
the
Gisling.
Norwegian
It's like
Trump. Isn't that correct?
it's like Hans Lysglimt Johansen, but
Yes.
it's just like a one-man party. And you would think that as a
Yes.
foreigner, okay, what are you going to compare this to? It's going to be okay. You have like Geert Wilders in the Netherlands, who is like this kind of based, like anti, like counter jihad guy who's very intellectual. But I mean, like this guy is. Maybe we should just do it like a deepest lore on this guy because, like, from
I have a lot of.
the early 2010s, I actually followed him but when I learned about Austrian economics. And he had a channel on YouTube where he was just talking about Austrian econ and oh, there's a Norwegian guy talking about Austrian econ. So I just followed him through his sort of way down the
Very,
rabbit hole here.
very Stefan Molyneux like by making videos in his car
Yep.
uh, as well. I do have quite a bit of criticism of him. Um, I would. I'm not. I haven't made up my mind if the Alliance or him is like a net positive to the Norwegian right.
Well,
I'm leaning on no.
I think no. I hesitate to use the word, but I'm just gonna say like grift on this thing.
Yeah,
Because like I didn't realize it, but I mean, you get support from the government by having these parties if you get enough votes and signatures. And like this is a one-man party. He's the only member of his party, and he was because he got more than 3,000 votes and signatures. He was able to make within a year 1.2 million Norwegian kroners, and then just spend 200,000 of that for campaign expenses. So he's making more than like an
and
average middle
and
class
he's like
salary on it.
continuously positioning himself as like the boogeyman
Yeah.
for the establishment.
I mean, he's just a total meme. Like it's like
Yeah,
you're trying to piss people off. Like he's just going speed running every like conspiracy, every right wing talking point at the same time. It's not even consistent. So he's
and the
just
people that
okay.
follow him too. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
yeah,
mean, if you
no.
go on his website, he basically says, like, I couldn't even believe it when he said it. You go like, okay, find us. It says like youth activism. We have youth on Discord and 4chan. That's what it says on the website.
Yeah, he's trying to like recruit
Yeah.
through that. Do you have anything like this in Denmark, Emil?
Well, we had a guy who it was like a one-man party. His name was Klaus Riskær, and he just made the Klaus Riskær party, and he ran, and he got like 0.8 votes, and so he just, you know,
Okay.
the
Points for
party had
naming the
away.
party after yourself, though.
Yeah, yeah, complete. He wasn't like outrageous. It was just like, why should we vote for you, kind of thing. We did have in the last election, we had a party called Stram Kurs, which means hard line, and it's basically as close to a neo mid-century German party as you can get without actually being it. And he was like really a character. He talked about sending immigrants, shipping them off to Greenland into working camps, and he would go out to these neighborhoods where there are a lot
Oh,
of
that's the guy who wanted to like relocate a bunch
yeah,
of
yeah,
people to like a prison
absolutely,
island. Yeah.
absolute moron. And he would go out in these neighborhoods and just start throwing around the holy books and set them on fire and shit like that. So he was quite a
It's
character.
the
They
democratic
actually,
process at work here, folks.
A
yeah,
challenger of
Everything
everything.
is fine.
and he was going with that. Well, this is just freedom of speech. I mean, this is just. But he was definitely a character, and he got more votes than I expected. But obviously, he didn't get so many that he would get into the parliament at all. But I think he's still working on it and still trying. So you just don't hear a lot about him anymore.
So, Walrus, do you think you could just like show the TikTok video or something just for the audience who
Right,
don't
you
know?
linked a TikTok. The
Yes.
number one or two?
I could just take the one of them, just so the
That's
audience can see what like just
can I
to summarize
you
what
linked
this
an
party
account,
is.
is that correct?
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
patriotic youth or something.
Yeah. All right,
to
this is
see
the
if the,
Patriotic Youth, which is run by this guy. Is that
yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like one of his. I think he just has like these sort of Alliansen Ungdom
It's a free Palestine
runs.
video. All right, let's
Let's
see.
just see if you can find one of these compilation ones.
Oh shit, that's a pretty. Well, he has some memers on his side apparently.
Yep.
Let's see here. Add to stream. Do you get audio here?
No,
Oh, okay.
but I think you can sort of guess what the audio is going to be like on this.
That's that's a Pepe.
Yeah.
Is that the Norwegian flag? That's the Norwegian flag.
It is.
And
Wow.
huh, this is certainly something. Oh wow, this is. I mean, he's certainly couching his. If I was a leftist, I'd certainly say there's some dog whistling going on here. Um,
It's just a full horn that he's blowing out. He's not trying
yeah.
to be subtle about anything.
But
I
that's the
think
other
he's
big criticism I have of him, and we'll get to more of that later. In the Curtis Yarvin sense, or
yeah.
Mencius Mollberg sense of the mid-century Germanism in current year. When you're living in a regime that defines the like archetypal enemy, the this is the worst thing you can be, and if you are, we're gonna hunt you down, and you choose to embody that, you're sort of like setting yourself up for failure. You're playing their game.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd
It's like
say.
watching cartoons and just like playing villain.
Yeah, it's
Almost
like
like
I'm
within
gonna
the
be
narrative that they've created.
the
So.
mustard twirling bad guy, and I'm gonna just put on his costume and go waltz around and see what happens.
And there's a lot of fun in that. I think there's a sort of like there's this kind of masculine appeal to it, and
Oh yes,
that
sure.
this is not a defense of Lysglimt, but like this sort of appeal. Like it's just fun to be a little naughty about this stuff, and it's
Right, and I
fun to
think
have all
that's
these.
why he appeals to a lot of young men because they can, that's also a thing on the same thing that Curtis Yarvin talks about. It's if you're like an edgy teenager, well, that's the go-to thing, right? If you're going to be as
I mean,
edgy as
if you're like
possible, you go
serious,
to
you're seriously edgy and you seriously don't give a damn. Like not like Rage
yeah.
Against the Machine. Like you're actually like
No,
disagreeable.
like if you're like a
Yeah.
4chan teenager and you actually want to piss someone off, you adopt the mid-century Germanism,
Yeah, or
and then you get
some
crushed.
periphery, some side like anti that group
Right.
ideology, and that's what you get too. Like with people who are like legit. That's the sort of funny part with like you see, like you have these people who watch stuff like Rick and Morty and listen to Rage Against the Machine. They think they're like really sort of oh, we're pushing the boundaries and we're pissing people off, but like I mean,
Yeah,
in reality, it looks
I'm so
like
edgy because I want to legalize weed, man.
I mean, in reality, like edginess, that's like Bobby Fischer or like Ted Kaczynski. That's what like edgy, like young
Yeah,
man
if you
looks like.
actually want
So,
to, yeah, if you actually want to think dangerous thoughts, all right. Uh, but then again, we're back to the question of is this guy like a net positive in the sense that he brings people to deeper thoughts? Maybe, I don't know. I'm not.
well, I mean, I thought he was onto something. They brought him on, like before the last American election. Of course, like the Norwegian media is just running Orange Man bad, like every newspaper, every page.
Yes.
So they brought him on, and he was able to just like make a sort of spirited defense of Trump, and they just kicked him off the panel afterwards. And I thought at that point he was like, okay, he could actually do some good. He could be like this kind of media figure, but he just turned it up to 11, and he went down with sort of like he denied the historical events and
Yeah.
started talking about like when it's like deep paganism and a lot of this sort of stuff. That's it's a little bit too much,
You can do that, but I mean, you're going to get kicked out, and he might end up at the same place, but is he going to get anything done? Is my point. There's more than enough like actual right-wing critique of mid-century Germanism and why I think it's kind of cringe to wholesale adopt that stuff these days. And you see that a lot in a lot of the even more periphery parties, you get these like, oh, I'm a pagan and a neo mid-century German. I have a raven and his name is Odin, and I'm so based. And it's like, well, yeah, but what are you actually doing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're onto something more authentic than me. I don't know, but you're not
No,
achieving anything. You're
I
just
think
being
you
edgy in the woods.
get some of these people who are just like they have a agreeability, or they have disagreeability that's just off the charts, and I think maybe like slightly delusional about how other people perceive them, or they just don't give a damn. So, but we're getting to those. I mean, if we go into the next slides, you can look at some of these.
Yep.
Like we go even further right this time.